Hello and welcome to Dear Say, and my name is Bamisaye Victor, live from the city of Kyiv in Ukraine, and I want to take a minute to apologize for coming on late today, and I hope you accept our apologies and we can have a very wonderful time today. Remember last week Facebook was down and we had to go on live only on YouTube, but this week we're on both Facebook and YouTube, so I want to say welcome to every one of you who has come in, who is on now, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome, and thank you for always joining us. And today we'll be having a very interesting conversation. I'm sure some of you are already seeing the topic on the screen, but it will be a very interesting one. As of now, I'll just go on Facebook and try to see those who have joined us and try to welcome you. And as I do that, I also encourage you to please go ahead and share to the different platforms that you are on, the different fora where you engage, and invite your friends also. And I can see that Ms. Tony Origbo has joined, Ms. Ufoma Anigoro, Dr. Lubumi, I can see you, Ifegu Ude, Tony Olobayo, Vike Suleiman, I can see Bishop Akintola. You're very much welcome. And for all of you who are joining in, I can see Blessing Akpobari, I can see Njoka Boon. You're very much welcome. And as you're coming in, please don't forget to go ahead and share. Today Facebook is on, thank God. And you can share now. Last week we didn't have the privilege to do that, but this week things have gotten better, and that's the beauty of life, that things, we hope, always get better. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the Nigerian election, and we've been talking about that for about 3 weeks now, and different facets of it, from the predictions to the aftermath. And then we talked about those who said God spoke to them, and the end does not justify the means. So we can now see clearly who God is speaking to and who God is not. While some of us on the medical aspect may want to advise those who claim God spoke to them and we see that God did not speak to them, to go check themselves for some auditory hallucination. It could be some psychotic syndrome, we don't know, but it may be very advisable that they go for medical checkup, because when you begin to hear voices that ends up not being God's voice, and the medical side is a dangerous one. So I can see Abiola Olojo Daniel Adiogun has also joined. I can see Prince Debola Shongbadebo, Vinda Kelo Idara. I'm completing him. You're very much welcome. Thank you for liking my outfit. All right, so I have a guest on the show today. You know him, is my partner in this business, and
this crime.
to some other people they will call it crime, but well, we are sure it's not a crime. But if that's how they'll take it until the truth goes in. But we try to be as objective as possible. Of course, we understand a lot of people have their biases. We do not deny in some certain aspects. For me as a person, I know I do have mine too. But within every ambit of trying, of everything it means to try, I try my best to be objective. And that's why we try to work with data, and we try to show you objectively and empirically what we are talking about. So that's why we show you videos, we show you statistics, we show you figures, we show you even sometimes write-ups, so that you can see that we are talking on the basis of facts, not just this is not sentiment. And that is not to say that I, as a person, Bamisaye Victor, do not have my biases. Of course, I do. That's what it means to be human. But what it means to be even more human is the ability to learn, to unlearn, and then to relearn. So it means you have to be open enough to listen to what people have to say and the objectivity that may back it up. So without further ado, let me bring on my guest, my partner on the show today. It's no other person than Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday, good to have you again.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah, so I was talking about psychosis earlier on. You know, in psychiatry, especially when you're talking about psychosis, people tend to report hearing voices. So we also take into cognition hallucination. We also take into cognition religious factors. So there's something called the religious delusion. But on that end, when someone says he hears God, and it turns out that the result came out now, and
there was no God.
There was no God. It makes us begin to suspect that has to be some auditory hallucination. So we need to ask now, that voice, how did you hear it? Is it outside? You know, if it's outside, and you can probably see the person who you say is talking to you, then if the person is old enough, we may start suspecting dementia. So it may seem that those who were actually accusing Buhari of dementia, they may actually be the ones suspecting, be the ones suffering from it. Now, if the voice is, if they say it's inside them, maybe they hear it inside their head, or they feel it in their tummy or something like that, then it's called pseudo hallucination. In any case, when voices are heard and there's no evidence to prove it, and especially the result and reality does not back up that claim, it's time to begin to suspect psychosis. So I don't know if you use your voice to please beg them, those who may eventually watch. I don't know how many mental health facilities are in Nigeria, but of course we need to give awareness about that. Maybe they need to check into one and get help.
My own problem is, how do I connect that with today's topic?
We'll connect it. We have to know where we are coming from to know where we are going to. But in any case, we've been talking about Nigeria's election, and a lot of people prophesied. And one of the prophecies was that Buhari was not going to win, or Atiku was going to win. And someone said God told them. Many of them, in fact, even prayed after God had even told them. And I read last week of one of them saying that the election was rigged, and that's why the prophecy did not come true. So, and we did last week that who is the God that told you that Buhari was not going to win, but did not factor in rigging. So that's where that is coming from. That now that the people who say they've heard God and the result don't come out now, but Atiku did not win. So it means God did not speak to them. So they may need to go check that. Now, but coming to today, how do we link it to today?
Yes.
Today we want to talk about so this rigging, where we not talk about who rig am. So this rigging that you said is the reason why your prophecy did not come to pass. Who is responsible for it? So today's question is, who rigged the Nigerian elections?
Okay, I think personally thinking, I think when you talk about developing countries like Nigeria, it is impossible to exclude the factor of rigging altogether, totally. There are some countries that have managed to achieve that feat, but Nigeria is still far away from that. And we still have to, unfortunately, admit that most likely there were factors of rigging in Nigerian election as well, including it coming from both sides. So to be crying foul when you yourself you are engaged in the same activities is like the proverbs that is popular from my side of the country. I think it's all over Nigeria that if you don't catch a thief on time, the thief will begin to shout at the owner of the farm that the owner of the farm is the thief.
Yeah. Aitete mole. Ole moloko.
Yes, that's it.
Aitete mole. Ole moloko.
Right, that's the way it is in Yoruba language. That if you don't catch if the owner of the farm does not catch and declare and raise alarm against the thief on time, the thief will begin to raise the alarm against the farmer, against the owner. So you will be catching the owner and calling him the thief just because the guy was not. So and why is it that it's the thief that raises the alarm? Because he doesn't want to be caught. So it's almost like that kind of proverb that people who are really engaged in this are the ones who are are shouting the most. I personally think that when it comes to rigging, I don't think anybody could be acquainted from that crime in Nigeria in terms of the two political parties. However, when you look at the figures very well, I begin to doubt that the main rigging in Nigerian election was perpetrated from the north. I have more doubt about that because the followership that Buhari has in the north, they are more cult followership, or what do you call it?
A cult followership, yeah.
Yeah, it's cult followership, which means there are more dedicated followers who are ready to go and vote and fight for their rights and for their votes in the north than any other candidate in Nigeria.
Yes.
So, but when you now look at the candidate of PDP, I don't think he has that kind of cult followership.
And it's also from that north.
And even though it's from that same north, it doesn't have the cult followership in the north, and I don't think he has it even in the south. And I think that the people who are voting for PDP are mostly people who are not happy about APC or about Buhari. So it's more about grudges votes. So it's not like a dedicated followership kind of commitment. And that is why I say that who will then probably rig? The people who are already fanatical about a candidate, they will not need to rig because they are going there to vote anyway. Because they are already fanatical about it.
Yeah.
The ones who will rig are the ones who are more, who are not so satisfied. But still, I think that rigging might be happening in the two places, but it will be wrong to just accuse one party of rigging.
Yeah. Like you said, rigging is a factor that cannot be excluded in the Nigerian politics and in fact in many developing nations. In fact, even in developed nations, there is always the tendency for the politician to always do whatever he can, everything possible to rig the election to his favor, to get the election to his favor. So to now bring it down to environments such as ours, which is very undeveloped and sometimes, unfortunately and sadly, uncivilized, where things that are norm are not being followed, where people still behave as badly as should not be seen amongst civilized people, then you already know, of course, it is a factor. And it's sad that it's the reality, but of course that is what it is. And if we have to, in fact, move on from it, we have to discuss how do we stop it really. And so to now talk about today's topic, who rigged the Nigerian elections, we have to look at facts and analysis. We have to look at, for instance, let's look at how has the numbers been over the years till 2019. Then we'll see, was it rigged? How much did rigging affect the political reality? And those are the discussions and those are the conversations we should really have. If you look at, for instance, in America, as civilized as it is, you may think that rigging doesn't go on. But if you study them very well, you know how much and how they do their rigging, from voter suppression to even manipulating the electronic voting. And you see, electronic voting is one of the things I would also like us to talk about today, because on the surface value, some people think that just electronic voting will solve the problem of rigging. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but those are the things we would talk about today. So DSA, I don't know if DSA would want to talk now about, we should talk a little bit about the cult followership that Buhari has. Does his nearest opponent have the same? Then we'll talk again about who are those that are claiming that the elections have been rigged. Is it just the main opposition party, or do we have other people who also are saying this election is being rigged? For instance, this new generation parties who are just coming up, the likes of the very respected Shuwore, the very respected Mogalu, and Fela Drotoye, are they also claiming that the election is being rigged? Then those who are claiming the election has been rigged or is rigged, what are they doing about it? Are they going to challenge it? Then these are things that I would really want us to talk about today.
Yeah, you just spoke about talking from figures and
Yes.
from statistics.
Yes, sir.
So, what's more slide? I would like us to look at the statistics and the picture of Nigerian electoral participation,
Yes, sir.
and how the picture of Nigerian voting system is, the figures from what section of 2019, from what section of the country, so that we could analyze and really see how the whole thing looks like, and then we'll be able to come to the conclusion that where is the possibility of rigging more likely and where it is less likely. Let's have a look, because we've got to see what's more of a slider. C-frame, I'm the C-frame say. Sorry, guys.
So we'll be looking at the statistics. That will be region by region, and then we'll look at the numbers. What does it say, and what is the possibility or the likelihood of voting or of vote rigging in such places? And we have to put into factor the fact that card readers are substantially being used in this election more than it was before. So of course that, to a large extent, maybe not, of course, not absolutely, but to a large extent has been able to remove voter fraud to a very large extent, because you have to go through accreditation before you get to vote. And we also, of course, I don't know if the numbers are here, but that there are people who lost in their wards, and there are wards and local governments where it was clear who carried the day before a collation took place. So then the question will be, where did this rigging take place? So yes, the numbers are here on the screen.
Okay, vote analysis says, let's look at votes by zones.
Yes, sir.
So Southwest voted 2 million, just let's say 2 million votes for APC.
Yes, sir.
And PDP is 1.7 million. No complaints coming from Southwest. Why not?
I think
because when the election happened in Ekiti, there was complaint.
Yes.
When the election happened in Osun, there was complaint. But now that they want Oyo
and
Ondo, nobody is complaining. What's the problem? In fact, I saw articles coming from people, even PDP people, like the guy was the spokesman for Jonathan. No. Who is in America now? Reno voted and said that it's impossible to, he wrote an article and said it is impossible to count Yorubas as against Igbos. Mm-hmm. Because how can they leave their son, or Shibajo, who is the vice president currently, and go and 50% of the vote, almost 50% of the vote, go and give it to
Peter
Obi, who is Igbo. So how can you understand that? They said, so he was saying that it's not possible to say Yorubas are tribalists, yes, and that they are the most tolerant and welcoming tribe in Nigeria. And that for them, the fact that they have given 50% of their vote, almost 50% of their vote, to somebody from not coming from their side, but for Peter Obi, means that there is no discrimination. So they were rather praising. But apart from him, I also saw somebody else, I think Obi himself, Peter Obi, saying Southwest is the most civilized part of Nigeria. If everybody is like that, there will be no problem. So, but the same people were complaining when it didn't go their side with Ekiti and Osun. What is happening?
In fact, by the time we go to the north, you will see, I'll say something when we go to the north, but you will see again why it is just plain hypocrisy. Plain hypocrisy on the part of especially those who are PDP apologists or those who just don't like Buhari and the APC. So what happens is that the election is always credible whenever and wherever PDP wins. But it is never credible anywhere APC wins. So that bias that many people bring into the picture is what leads to the hypocrisy of never complaining when they wins, but when it doesn't go their way, always talking. For instance...
Okay, why is it then that, if that is the theory you are saying, but they are not complaining about Lagos too, even though they lost in Lagos. But they lost in Lagos, even greater, more number than ever before, the governorship something. And they are not, even the guy goes to leave the party, the governorship candidate.
Yes.
But then when the internal party, APC party primaries was going on, PDP was saying that was rigged, even among themselves,
Yes.
even though it doesn't concern them.
Yes.
But now that they lost, they are not complaining about Lagos.
Yeah. In this case, it was very clear.
The gap is too much.
The gap is too much, and you can see especially within the Southwest, and like I said, this card reader issue that was brought reduced voter fraud to a very large extent. So, and of course, votes are collated word by word, and that does not mean it could not be rigged, but when you are the ward agent and you can see the number coming from your ward, you can see the number coming from the local government. So it was very clear. And it seems to me that people in the Southwest seem to be politically tolerant enough. And I think politics has matured to a large extent in the Southwest.
Yeah, what surprised me in the Southwest the most in this election was the Ogun State.
Yeah.
Because the Ogun State, what happened there was totally mind-blowing. The governor, who was APC governor, went ahead, went ahead and rebelled against his own party. And he managed to win a senatorial seat for himself. But then, when it comes to bringing in his own governor, you know, even though the people voted for him, the same people went and voted against him when it comes to the governor. That is talking about a whole lot of maturity going on there.
Yes.
So people understand better. Even though the same people voted for him to be a senator, but when it comes, and they voted for Buhari,
yes.
And then, but when it comes to the person, the guy, the whole reason why he actually created his own party,
yes,
was to bring his own governor.
Yes.
The people, maybe they took his money, maybe they took his rights, but they voted against his candidate.
Yeah. And considering that he had already splitted the number of even the party, because he was a stakeholder. Of course, he's still a stakeholder, so it means he took a lot of APC people even to APM. But even at that, the people knew that this is who we want. It's not you. It's not your stooge. And so they voted against such. Of course, there are a lot of factors also to consider. The political heavyweights that are also against him. People like
because the normal
Oshoba.
thing that would have happened if he had splitted the votes of APC like that,
yes,
the normal thing that was supposed to have happened is that that party was supposed to lose out.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be the Imo scenario.
Yes.
Because the same thing, similar thing happened in
Yes,
Imo.
in Imo.
They splitted the votes of APC and both of them became the losers.
Yes. So, but what had happened was if he didn't do that and create APC, APM, APC would have won by wider margin
in that state.
By quite a lot. Because if you look at his party was even number 2.
So it's a good thing that they are sanctioning him.
Yes, very, because what he has involved in is blatant anti-party activity. And it's not good for any democracy.
But why is it that Nigerians seem to dislike or even hate Oshiomhole? But I think that guy is one of the best things to happen to Nigerian politics.
Yes.
Especially him becoming the national chairman.
Yes.
But why is it that the criticism against, in fact, criticism against him is more than the criticism against Buhari?
Well, sometimes.
In fact, his own criticism might even be more than Okorosha.
Yes.
Even people from his state, they hate him.
No, I don't think the people from his state.
A lot of people from his state. That's why his state lost the something almost to president special votes to Atiku almost.
No, that in that case, that scenario is a south-south.
No, but if the governor is APC and if this former governor was APC, he's the national chairman. I mean, he was supposed to deliver his state. If he cannot deliver his state, they don't like him. And I see criticism from people of Edo. They hate the guy. I don't know why. They say he didn't do anything, he didn't deliver. That's what I keep on hearing.
The problem with delivering, I don't know if it's something to talk about now, but one of the headaches that governors in Nigeria always have is the dichotomy of project or salary. And that's of course because of lack of leadership.
Has paid salary.
Yeah, he's always paying salary.
Yeah.
So with that, he's not able to do as much project.
Why is it they still didn't support him?
It's APC.
It's a shame.
I don't know. Maybe that would be something.
It's a shame that he didn't deliver. But personally, I think the value systems he is bringing to Nigerian politics, it's exactly what is needed. It's the values he's advocating for. That is what makes the West what the West is now. To stand against the impunity of the power, what do you call them, kingmakers, and the big money bags or money wings, you call them, the money bags, yes. And he is standing for principles. He is going from the polity of sentiments to polity of principles, and he is going from money back politics into politics of party discipline.
Yes.
That is exactly what it's supposed to be. But even in his own party, people don't like him.
I don't know how many people don't like him in percentage, but substantially a lot of governors and stakeholders don't like him, like you said, because he stood against their impunity. Okay, look at Ogun State, for instance. Why did the governor go away? He wanted to become, he was scheming, according to what I found out, he was scheming to become the Speaker, Senate President, number one, then the Southwest leader of the party. So that was his whole scheme, and he was trying to use his closeness, personal closeness with Buhari to do that. So in his own state now, he wants to become a kingmaker. So what did that mean? He wanted to choose the 3 senators, the 6 federal House of Reps, and all of the House of Assembly, not putting into consideration other political heavyweights that was there. And in 2011, when he became governor, Tinubu had to fight with his own friend to make that guy governor. Oshoba had to leave the party then to join SDP because he did not support Amosu becoming governor. But Tinubu said, this is the guy that can win as of this time. So they brought him in, and that was under ACN then, while they were still trying to take over the Southwest.
The same Amosu
revolted against Tinubu. So Oshiomhole coming in now is saying, no, you cannot dictate everything. You have to be able to lose some to win some. So you either go for Senate or you want governor. The same thing with Imo State. Your son-in-law cannot be governor and you will also be senator. So you either let him be governor,
and you are the former governor.
Yeah, and then you leave the Senate.
And your wife is the happiness.
The sister is the happiness commissioner for happiness.
Is it the sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that in itself is very innovative if Nigeria was ready for that, because
other countries
some countries like Saudi Arabia has.
But is it the only sister in the country? Or in the state?
So that nepotism and the greed was what Oshiomhole was fighting. So the stuff was, you either forfeit your senatorial ambition and let your son-in-law be governor, or you go for your Senate and because it's a party, a lot of interests are involved, but he wanted everything to himself. And so that's where party supremacy comes in. If it was under John Odige Oyegu,
everything would have gone.
They would have gone that way.
So that's why I'm saying that what he is introducing to Nigerian politics is supposed to be celebrated, but instead, he's being ridiculed.
Well, I don't know the number of people who are ridiculing it, but
in the nation in general,
well,
a lot of people. If all the PDP are ridiculing it.
Possibly, because that's their job.
And even
but within APC,
also they are ridiculing.
Apart from those who themselves are aggrieved, the general consensus within the party, they like what he's doing.
I think that APC is standing largely thanks to the reputation of
Buhari. Yeah, for sure.
If that Oshiomhole has been left alone without Buhari to handle that party, they would have fought him dirty.
And I think that the problem again with APC, I don't know, is that they know how to win, but don't know how to utilize.
No, but that is what the guy is bringing.
Yes, that's what he's bringing now, how to manage the victory.
Yes, because he was able, I think he has an experience in trade unionism.
Trade unionism, yeah. He knows how to make discipline and all of this.
Yes, and he wants to bring that to party politics, which is supposed to be the order. Yes. Now he has said the idea that I was advocating for, that anybody, before anybody could be elected into any position in Nigeria, they have to go to a school. That all those parties must have a school where they prepare party politicians and train them.
With
ideology. Now he has started talking about that.
Because, and I don't know if you have ever heard me say this, that in Nigeria, the difference between APC and PDP, for instance, is that APC has a paper that the ideology is on. So it means that if they are ever serious today, they have a paper and a blueprint to go back to say this is what we stand for. They are welfarist, socialist and socialist capitalism,
progressive.
Kind of progressive. So they have that ideology on paper, but in reality it's not there. So it means if they wake up today, like you are saying that Oshomole is saying, there's a paper, a blueprint, a roadmap for them to become what they want to become. But of course, there has not been people advocating for such. Like
that's
he's
why
doing
I'm
now.
saying that he's doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the next region in Nigeria. And see, apart from the Southwest, so we gave a lot of time to Southwest. Let's see the other region. No, Deviate. Okay, Southeast now.
Wow.
So if we want to talk about rigging, this is where we should be talking about rigging. Why? Because you have two national parties. One of them is like scored, is it 70%?
Yeah.
And the other one just scored 403,000 in the whole of the East. This is in six states.
5 states.
5 states.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 5 states in Southeast.
In Southeast, yes.
Okay, so 5 states only has, so if you divide this by 5, you have less than 100,000 each. If you just divide it like that by 5, 100,000 each for the other party.
Less than. Yeah.
Less than.
There
Like
was even a
80,000.
state where they had 60,000.
So it's almost like I personally don't think that even if there was a rigging, I don't think it's a big one, because I know also that in Southeast they have a big anti-Buhari sentiment.
Yeah.
So I would not say that this was rigged, but I think there is a problem here though, because the amount of people who had PVC or what?
Yeah,
PVC in Southeast, I don't think it is 2 million. No, I think it should be about 6 or 8 million.
About 7 to approximately 8 million.
8 million. So how if 8 million people in Southeast took PVC, why is it that only less than 2 million voted?
Just a little above 2 million.
Yes, that shows me that there was a bigger party
In the Southeast.
in the Southeast, and a lot of protests going on there. They are not happy with both PDP or both Atiku and
Buhari himself.
Buhari himself.
Voter party is also something to talk about, because I think the same scenario would have played out if we had looked at the voter structure in Southwest.
Okay.
The number of people who came out to the number of people who collected.
Yes, especially in Lagos.
Yeah, who collected the PVCs. So, but in Southeast, the anti-Buhari sentiment is there, no doubt. But the difference between this one and 2015 was that in 2015, and like this year too, they were the last set of states to be coming out.
What have been coming out?
When we were already seeing results from polling unit, we were not seeing from the Southeast.
Okay.
When people finish in the polling unit, they send the result in.
Okay.
We're not seeing them. So that was even making many of us suspect that it was already being cooked. And there are a lot of people who are saying too that there were some cooking. And by cooking, that's writing of figures. So in 2015, outrightly in some states, if we go state by state, where you see the total number of vote cast be equal to 300,000. In 2015, it was an outright 1 million for the PDP.
I don't get your logic.
So it means I'm looking at a state to use. Let's say in Abia, I'll look for
Enugu State.
Enugu State. I think altogether in Enugu State, maybe about 600,000 people voted this time around, if I'm not wrong. Okay. I will look for the data. But in 2015, 1 million votes alone came for the PDP from Enugu.
So you want to say that there was more rigging
in 2015
than now?
Than now. So now, because of the vote strict adherence to the system, so they cannot write it beyond, for instance, the number of people who were accredited.
Okay.
They cannot write it beyond the turnout expectation. Because, for instance, in the Southeast, there were photos of people playing football on election day. When, for instance, people in the North were queuing for 3 hours.
Maybe that is the factor of Nnamdi Kanu.
But Nnamdi Kanu eventually came out and told them to vote, to vote for Atiku.
But he had told them to sit at home before.
Yes, but eventually he told them to vote for Atiku.
Could that mean that the guy succeeded in settling him?
Yes, he said. Yes, he said that
he was settled.
He said himself that the conditions have been agreed to. He said that
all these conditions have been
fulfilled. He wrote it on Twitter.
Okay.
That all the conditions have been
that he gave to them.
And then issued.
So it's because of the election that the guy resurfaced.
So when he resurfaced, now what happened was that when he came at first, the people that were cheering him up the most were the PDP.
Yes.
That's why you see Osita,
Chidoka. No, but when they now said sit down at home, they turned against him.
They turned against him. Because this is where, when you see Atiku talking about election, he calls a stronghold the Southeast and the South. That's what he considers a stronghold. Yeah. So how then can Nnamdi Kanu be saying they should sit at home?
It was not market. No, but after they settled,
they now told them to come out.
And they like him, they stop
criticizing him again. So because then they have started saying it is Buhari that is choosing him, that is working for Buhari. So, but they don't know that the dog you train has the potency to come and bite you back.
But talking about rigging, one of the rigging incidents that was even recorded in Nigeria that was proven.
Yes, sir.
Was that of Southeast in Imo.
In Imo State?
Yeah, the Okorosha saga.
No, it was not proved. Because I studied
I listened to the collector.
He said he announced it under duress.
Yes.
But he did not say it was rigged.
No, he said the result that he announced. He said if he wanted to cancel five polling something, ward or something.
Yes, sir.
So he said if he had cancelled those five wards, he said the result wouldn't have been that he announced.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. He said, but the man, even the governor himself, came and said he must do it. And his guys are saying, the chief has spoken. If you want your life and your children's life, you better do what they have said. So if he cancelled those ones, because he said there were irregularities there, because people were made to do things that they didn't want to. He said that is why he had to come out and say, no, I announced this, but it was under duress.
Yeah, but in any case, the INEC has withheld the certificate of return.
Okay, but what I want to say is that if the APC, as the PDP is accusing and alleging, if APC is truly rigging this election, like they're saying, they would have used that opportunity to rig out, maybe even if they said, okay, they have conflict with Okorosha, so they don't want him to win, okay, or his son-in-law. But they would have rigged it in such a way. If it is rigging, the way they are accusing them,
yes, sir.
Imo, for example, for me, is a proof that APC was not even doing so much rigging.
Yes, sir.
Because if they had wanted to do rigging, they wouldn't have allowed them to take back the state that they were controlling.
Yes.
And even if that, by the time you calculate the two votes, I mean, the two parties, the APC and the one that was, they had much more votes than PDP.
Yes.
And the difference is even not too much. They would have made, if APC really wanted to vote, they would have switched it to their own hope, something.
Yeah, Uzodima. And the funny thing with Imo State right now is that election, the victory is still going to be overturned in court. Not for the sake of rigging, but the declaration of winner did not meet the Electoral Act.
I don't get it.
In the Nigerian Electoral Act, it's not, you are not just going to be declared. You should not just be declared because you have the highest number. You have to score 25% in about 2/3 of whatever, if it's state or local government. Yeah. So, but this particular guy who won in Imo State did not meet those criteria.
Yeah, but they will not.
So now it is just very easy for the court to annul his victory, and there will be another election.
You think so?
Yeah. Because, you know, it's constitutional demand. That it's just like if Buhari had won, but did not meet.
But why is it that Nwosu is claiming that it was his own victory?
Yeah, he is claiming that it was rigged out. And then that even if they are claiming that he won, he still did not meet up with the constitutional requirement.
But Okorocha is an angry man. He's very mad at everybody.
Yeah, he's very mad.
It's like a wounded lion.
Yes, as of now. And he feels betrayed.
Because he wants to become president in 2023.
That's one. Number two, he is hated, for instance, in the Southeast, not just because of underperformance. Because, although I know a lot of people will disagree with me, maybe, Okorocha is not the worst performing governor in the Southeast.
No, I think the reason why he's hated in Southeast is because he is regarded as a sold out.
Yes, a sellout.
As a sellout.
A betrayer.
As a betrayer. As if he's defending the interests of the North.
Hausas. So
yeah, I think they even call him Okoro Hausa. Yeah.
So they call him Okoro Hausa. So now, having to bear that, if you see, has sacrificed a lot. Because, you know,
in fact, some people in the Southeast come out with a story that his father is Hausa, that it's only his mother that is.
So a lot of things came up against him from the moment he left ABGA, a faction of ABGA, to join APC. So that meant they saw him as a sellout, and so he has had to bear the cross from then. I mean, the cross of
but
his
still,
actions.
he was still winning when...
He still, you know, even his own election had to go through a rerun, the second term.
Okay.
Yeah, it had to go through a rerun. He didn't win at first ballot. So a lot of people from then saw him as a sellout, so they wanted to get him out.
But why was the guy talking so big? Because when Buhari was there, he was saying, anywhere I go in Imo State, everybody must, when they hear my name, everybody must stand up. And that I am the factor in Southeast. I am the factor in this election. I'm the factor in Imo. That Imo State is the best performing state in Nigeria. And that no state has done better than him. He talked big. He knows how to talk, that guy.
He's an orator. A very big orator. He likes to, he's a Martin Luther wannabe. So he likes to give good oration. But however, I think
he said he has his own philosophy. He called it Ibinism or something.
Iberiberism?
Yes.
No, that's not his philosophy per se.
Oh, it's not?
No, he was saying people who are, he was trying to say some people behave stupid. I think Iberiberism means stupid. So that's the philosophy of the stupid people.
Oh.
So his own philosophy is Oashirism.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his Oashirism. I think Oa means community. So when community shares.
Okay.
So for him, he believes the community should be able to share from their own commonwealth.
Okay.
So that's his own philosophy.
But he has a lot of staunch critics. There is a mad guy that is always being interviewed.
Yeah, he has a lot of staunch critics. And I also think, I don't know.
From within his own state, even.
Yeah, many people from his state don't like him. So what we're talking about are the factors that contributed to it. Number one, his association with APC being seen as a sellout. Number two, his second-term performance was nothing near stellar. It wasn't so convincing.
It's like Anambra is the best performing state.
Yes. Anambra and Ebonyi. The Ebonyi state governor.
Abia and
From the feelers that I have received, I cannot believe that a state like Abia would vote again for someone like Ikpeazu. I really can't believe it. Of course, I know his victory will be challenging.
But they don't have any alternative. You know, the only alternative they have is APC, and they don't like APC.
No, there's another alternative from ABGA. His name is called Alex Oti. So I'm sure Alex Oti will be challenging the victory in court. But to believe someone like Abia State
Some
Governor.
people say that Abia is very backward.
Oh, I have seen photos, and I've seen them. Some people even made record.
No, but he was distributing petrol before the election.
That was the last tactics. And one of my big oga told me that he built a flyover. But one flyover is nothing. It's nothing, because you need to go to Kano and see flyovers.
Standard of living of people.
You need to go to Kano and see flyovers.
Many in Kano, yeah.
So one
and
flyover,
good roads,
good standard. One flyover is nothing. But you see potholes everywhere. And the way many of the people who are from that state, now this is not because of tribe, but just because they have a state, now demand governance from Lagos. You would expect that they do the same back home. But somehow, the governors from the southeast have been having leeway, and they've been enjoying themselves.
Truth be told, a lot of Igbo people, they are not happy with their governors. They are not happy even with their officials, with their, elected officials at all.
But they keep voting them in. So how? Ekwere Madu is going in for probably the fourth term.
A lot of Igbos believe that their officials are traitors.
But they keep voting them in. So my question is, for instance, PDP has always been a party in Southeast since 1999, apart from Anambra that got...
What about Abga?
That's in Anambra, that's just in Anambra. So if they've been the same party and you say they are not doing well, then change them. In the Southwest,
they changed many times.
They changed many times. Yeah. In fact, Oyo State lost. Many people argue
because of the governor. It's not because of Buhari.
Not even because of his performance. Because of his mouth.
Yeah. He doesn't respect his people.
Yes. So just because of what he says, they voted 2 senators apart from him.
He's the only one they didn't vote.
They didn't vote for. And just because he's supporting the candidate of the APC for governorship, they could throw him and baby and water away. So that's how, for instance, in the West, they vote. In Ondo State, for instance,
they didn't see that candidate. To the credit of your people, they didn't see the candidate of APC as APC's candidate. They see the candidate of APC as somebody Ajimobi, that is being imposed by Ajimobi.
Yes.
And they don't like him, and they don't want his stooge as well.
No, personally, that guy, if he contests, maybe, I don't know if this guy will be able to, Adelabu is not hated.
But because
he of
was
the influence
by Ajimobi,
they voted against him. They don't want a continuation of such legacy.
Yes.
So if you want to come on your own and show this what you can do. So on a personal note...
No, but it shows a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. They like him.
The one they shows, everybody likes him. Even the APC people voted for him.
Even APC people voted for him. So, because I was in Ibadan, I was there with your cousin, Mr. Banjoko, and I was told then that APC is not going to win this state. I could not argue, but if it's federal, I was saying that no, Buhari will win this federal.
So if we are talking about rigging,
yes,
why is it that APC, these are the places APC was supposed to rig?
They have 2 senators out of 3. They have 9 House of Representatives out of 12. And they still lost the governorship. And you're talking about rigging. And they still lost presidency altogether.
Yeah. So if they want to really rig, if APC were rigging, those are the places they would have rigged.
And they'll say you rig where
they have their governor there. If they really want to rig, that is the place they are supposed to rig too.
Ondo State is very funny because the 2 top guys are the governor and then a former governor called Mimiko. The other guy, Eita Ojagede, who was a stooge or...
no, those are the 2 main guys. Yes. Mimiko
and Mimiko
both of them and APC.
No, Mimiko is not in APC.
They supported
APC.
And the governor and they still lost. So we are talking about APC rigging, and the 2 main people supported them. Yes. They would have gotten overwhelmingly, but
nobody will be able to detect anything.
Yes, because that's their state.
Stronghold. And they still lost. And you're talking about rigging. What are you talking about? So, but
Atiku is going to be disgraced in that court. He doesn't have a case. Even if all the votes from the southeast are given to him, and from the southwest, I mean from the southeast and from the south, he will still lose.
He will still lose.
So what is he going to court for?
But we are still on south, west, and south.
Let's continue.
By the time we continue, you will now see exactly why there's no chance for
he doesn't have any chance.
No chance.
I mean, even though, like I said in the beginning, I don't deny that there might be some rigging on the local level by both parties sliding.
Even vote buying, everything. Yeah. And I want to say something that may be very controversial, sir. Do you know, I believe, and I want to say this, and it's my belief, that vote buying on its own as a factor shows that votes count.
Yeah.
Because if the votes were not to count, then why should they be spending money on it?
They will just go and rewrite it, that's all.
So the fact that they are giving you money to say, take money and go and vote for our party, it means the politicians themselves know in the process more than ever before that it counts, at least to a larger extent, to even say they are spending their money on it.
When people talk about rigging, they are not even talking only about the buy.
Yeah, vote buying.
But what about the stamping?
Writing and all of those. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That those ones exist, but we are talking about the transition also of the process to have rooted out rigging to a large extent.
Let's see the next slide there. South is here.
Oh, South, beautiful. Yes. So this South, you see, it's half.
It's half, yes.
Of the number, yes. And people will be expecting that. But this is PDP stronghold. Why not? In 2015, sir,
they didn't even have the APC. Didn't even have 20%.
Sir, in 2015,
talk less of 50.
Where you are seeing 2 million like this,
it
will not be 2 million for PDP.
It will be 5 million.
5-6 million. Then APC will now have about altogether 500,000 altogether. But what happened? Look at in 2015. In Rivers State had just a little above 200,000 accredited voters.
Okay.
But you know the vote that was brought in?
1 million.
1.2.
1.2. So 200,000 is the accredited. And the code that was counted was 1.2.
1.2. In fact,
that is cheap for
breaking. To the extent that
plus 1 million.
The only thing
and 200 is the official. That's what is tough.
The governorship election had to be cancelled. I mean, they had to do rerun in certain parts. I believe people who are from Rivers will remember. They had to cancel the governorship election, and
but
they did rerun.
What I don't understand about this APC and South is that how come APC has 1.1 million votes and they don't have a governor? Everybody, they lost out in all the governorship election in the South. That's number one.
Yes.
But they also had some senators.
Yeah, they had some senators.
How many senators did the APC have?
I think
3.
One in Bayelsa, one in Edo. I think that's just about that too. Probably just 2. Or
they don't have any in Rivers?
No, the Rivers have not even done their own. They've not done
They don't have any in Akwa Ibom?
No. No senator from Akwa Ibom.
So how can they have this kind of large number of votes in South and they don't have senators, they don't have governors? So where did the votes go?
What happened in South?
That's what I don't understand.
What happened in South was that...
Where do they have this 1 million from?
Yes.
If they cannot see anybody they've elected.
What happened was a lot of people came into the party. And not just that, like Edo that you were talking about, Edo, the win margin of PDP was very low. In Akwa Ibom, the win margin was still high, but the margin was reduced because of someone like...
Edo is not South.
Edo is South.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the win margin was reduced because they could not write the numbers the way they used to write it. So you are having, if I could check that now, you are having 400,000 to...
No, but the worst is Delta.
Yes, in Delta...
Delta and Rivers.
In Delta, the number 2 was reduced because a lot of heavyweights came into APC.
It was only one House of Representative girl they got in Delta. One lady, not senator, but House of Representative.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't even look at that.
Yes, they got one.
But if we look at, we're talking about Rivers now. Rivers, APC had 150,000, PDP had 473,000. In 2015, if it was 2015, the kind of would have seen 1.2 million. So those were the numbers PDP was probably banking on. So if you go to Delta, in Delta you find APC having 221, PDP having almost 600,000. So you still see the margin is there. It shows you who they really voted for.
So it is because of margin that they have.
Yes. So the margins were reduced, even though they did not win. So they got more numbers than they did. So in Edo, it was APC had 267,000, PDP had 275,000. So it was just a little margin. So if we go to Cross River, the margin was high too. In Cross River, APC had 117.
But in Akwa Ibom, people like Akpabio is saying that he was rigged out.
Yes. And he's saying he's going to contest it in court, and which
no,
I think.
But first of all, it's very disgraceful for him to have been a governor and not be able to win.
Well.
Secondly, I mean, that is a shameful performance.
If, like you are saying, if APC were to rig, Akpabio
they would have rigged for
the
him.
First beneficiary of such rigging.
Yes.
The first beneficiary. Why? Because he left his own party as minority leader.
Yeah.
If Akpabio was in PDP till today, to win his election back to PDP,
it would have been easy.
Very easy. So it would have been more of a point to prove
for
APC to rig someone like Akpabio in to say, yes, we have come. We are in the South.
We want to take it
back. But that was even almost impossible for them, or if they tried. But much later, we're now seeing, especially after the governorship election, we're now seeing car accident happened, and there was a car accident scene where the ballot box and all of the ballot boxes were voted. The beneficiary was APC, but that was, of course, after the collation had taken place. So let's see what.
So you think PDP rigged in that place, in South?
I would not want to behave like them. I'm going to say that they won, according to what INEC declared. Anyone who really believes that they rigged should challenge it in court. But if you look at the way it is, then, of course, the suspicion of those who think they rigged might be valid. But again, because I know how politics is, that sometimes people accuse people because of how they would have done it.
But why is it that it is South where mainly people are dying in Nigeria election?
Now that calls for,
especially Rivers.
That calls for sociology.
I think it's because of rigging. It's because they are trying to. Some people are trying to rig. Another part also is trying to rig, and they are getting thugs and bandits to fight each other for votes.
But the question again would be 2003, when they were really mainly PDP. Without any of this Amici or
no APC.
Yeah, they still had violence, even in the Southeast.
Among themselves?
Yes.
Southeast or we are talking about Rivers?
Both Southeast and South. There was still violence, even in 2003. So it's been more like a culture or something. It's always repeating itself.
I think it's because there is a high level of militants that want to use politics to make money.
So what had happened was that these people,
or former militants,
these politicians
are hiring them,
had hired them for electioneering purpose. So after election ended, they still had arms, and then that is a place where you have resource. So they are able to do oil bunkering. They are able to kidnap people to still get money. So when there's election time again, they call them. So a lot of sect comes in. As of 2018, there was a guy called Don Wani. He was killed in Rivers State after he had killed 30 people January 1st.
He himself killed them?
Yes, he and his boys. January 1st. 30 people, he killed them.
Then the police
police and soldier got him. But this guy now was said to be...
But is that not what PDP is saying? That Buhari brought a lot of military, and that it is the military that is killing people. So is it the military that is killing people because they want to rig? But if the military is killing people because they want to rig, why is it that they didn't rig to win then? Why is it that they didn't win?
With the
Because if they are if they brought military to really rig, they would have used military to rig and they would have
they
won.
will win.
Yeah.
It happened in Ekiti, where Fayose did that same stuff. But what had happened with Rivers State was that before the election, there were already intelligence that had been going out that politicians were importing soldiers' uniform. So
yeah, they found some people.
Yeah, they found some people like that, and even SARS arrested some and paraded them. So there are people who really want to rig, and they already have the boys. And of course, if you want to rig and you want to use people with gun, the best way sometimes to do that is to clothe them with police or soldier uniform. So that was one factor on its own. Then the second factor is, should soldiers really be there?
Of course, if there is violence to prevent violence, if they got what they call it,
intelligence.
Intelligence, yes.
So and
the same thing happens in America. If they get intelligence, they are going to send National Guard or something.
Yeah. Those who are against the sending of soldiers are in this year's election. In 2015, they are on record asking for soldiers to be brought in. The same people. People like Chief Edwin Clark.
No, but even Edwin Clark is saying nobody can contest the number of votes that came for Buhari.
No, that's Robert Clark.
Robert Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edwin Clark is like
the father,
one of the fathers in Niger Delta.
Okay.
They were asking for soldiers in 2015. So why is it that they don't want soldiers this time around? Questions have to be asked. Then, soldiers in itself, people, observers, electoral observers, had marked places like Rivers State or your state in Southwest, Akwa Ibom, to be flashpoints where violence could possibly erupt. And you can see how it actually eventually happened. An House of Representative guy was shot dead in Oyo State. You can see exactly what is happening in Rivers State. So the question should be, are soldiers meant to be there or not? If they are meant to be there, what is their duty? Because, for instance, in the last week, there was a discussion flowing back between the governor and the military themselves. The military were saying it is the aides of the governors that was shooting at them. The governor is saying it is the military that was doing all of this. Of course, I believe that
all these things we are talking about, election rigging and everything, it's lack of processes. We have not perfected our processes. That's why, did you notice that I've written a book about processes? I think this is the most important book for Nigeria, because Nigerians don't like processes, we like results. And the title of the book is Process is as important as the result. But I want to change that title to Result is the new, process is the new result.
Oh, so you're going to change the
I think title. I'm going to change the title. Because that is shorter. Process is the new result. But this is the whole idea. Process is as important as the result. Because we don't value process. If you go to church, they will tell you, don't worry, don't worry how it will happen. God will do it. That means no need for process. God will do it, just result. Then if you go to the pastors, they will say, your breakthrough is coming by the end of this month. Amen. But every Sunday they tell you, in the name of Jesus, raise your hand. Or raise your offering. You don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. No process. Your breakthrough, amen. Somebody will become a millionaire before the end of this year. You didn't sign contract. You don't have skills. No process. So process is what is killing Nigeria. Everybody wants to have a big house, but nobody knows how to do finishing. So we have to import Congolese and Beninos and all those people to come and be doing our songs. We don't know how to do stuff. No processes. That's why I wrote this book. And this election process you are talking about is because of lack of processes, perfect process.
But again, when you talk about process, which of course I totally agree, but I think we also need to bring in this. I don't know if we should talk a bit more about process or we should bring it, if we just juxtapose it with the situation of the election we're talking about now.
No, I'm just trying to introduce the book in terms of our own value system as a nation.
Yeah.
That one of the things that we need as a whole nation, both election, both politics, both economy, both business, both even education. In our educational system, people value the certificate result more than the process.
Yes, sir.
So people value mark. If you go to school, it's the mark you get, the percentage, the mark that people want to talk about.
Yes.
The process.
Of
People
don't knowledge.
Yes, people downplay.
Yes.
But process sometimes is even more important than the result itself.
Yes, because you can get result by chance,
anyhow,
or happening, and
or
never
by
be
bribe,
able to replicate it.
Yeah, because process is what will make you to be skillful. Is what gives you the skills. The result doesn't. The result is the ice on the cake.
So, of what use is having an icing
without the cake itself?
Yeah.
So for me, I feel that that we are going to build a new Nigeria, this is one of the books that will do it for us.
Beautiful.
It's a whole cultural shift for the whole of Nigeria.
Yeah. Even for someone like me, I think I still struggle.
Even footballers, they will just come back about 2 weeks or 2 months to the game and go. No processes. The boxers, Olympics. Why is it that we are not getting anything in Olympics?
Because
again? We go in the last minute. We don't value process. We just want to get the result, and then we'll go and be manipulating God.
That's how we've been raised up. Every one of us.
That God will do it.
Value system in all of us.
God will do it.
To just focus on how do you get the process, the result. Yeah. So that's why all of our prayer point is about result. So, for instance, if you tell someone you are going to have problem this year, why is it that the person will say, no, me problem can no. But without having, say God forbid, really the result you are looking for is as a result of defeating the problem that you encounter. So why is it that I don't want problem? Because I just want the result without the process. And that's the value system. And for some of us who even have known so much that we know now, we still struggle.
Because you were brought up in that culture.
Mindset, yes. And so it takes a whole lot of unlearning. And
when we started working with you people on the book, you were always saying, how could you take one little point and make a whole book?
I had the problem with, personally, me. I could not imagine how you were doing it. For me, all the points that you are doing.
There is one point now, is the result. You already have it. You already said.
You said this thing, why you
but that's the process. That's where the meat is.
Yeah. And you always talk about details too. That's how I personally started learning more about process, because then you were saying the details matter more. It's everything. So to pay attention to the detail takes a lot of process. It takes a whole lot of process.
So, but even electoral process, INEC will never perform until we perfect process. But we have to perfect it in our values first.
So that was the question I was going to ask in terms of bringing this concept now to the Nigerian process.
We don't have any product apart from oil that is competitive
in the world.
Even the packaging. I went to our embassy here one time. They said cashew. We are selling cashew, and our embassy people were so proud of it. I saw the cashew. When I saw the packaging, I said nobody will buy this thing out there. I saw the rice. The good is there, but the package, it's not Uncle Ben's. The packaging is just some nylon. How can who you using nylon to sell rice in the West? We don't care. We just go and look at any house in Nigeria. I've gone to senator's house. I've gone to president's house in Nigeria. Either it is toilet paper you will not find, or it is water that will not flush, or it is crack in the something somewhere. Processes are neglected everywhere.
And that's why we don't have the culture of maintenance, because we
don't know process.
As long as we can build the house, result.
Bring the microphone.
Yeah, the result has been achieved
in the beginning.
Okay. So as soon as we are able to build the house, the result has been achieved. So the process of maintaining it, we don't pay attention to that.
We will build a road, highway like that. There will be no walkway for pedestrians.
Not talk of tree.
And talk less of trees.
So it's just the result. Is there a road? Yes, there's a road.
You will build a house, there will be no water system.
Yeah.
Or water system is there, but there will no water inside. Process. I think there is no book that is more important for Nigeria than this book.
I agree.
But even Nigerians in Europe are struggling with it.
What value?
That's why we cannot compete with Europeans a lot. Because they are
on the long run.
No.
Acutely, we can burst into the scene. But how do
we cannot do marathon?
No, we can't do the marathon. We don't do the marathon.
That's why Nigerians are more in particular about talking. Go to and see our television program. Talking. But with Europeans, they don't like to talk. They just like to go through the process. They are doing something, busy doing something. But our own, we are specialists in talking. Why? Because we don't know the process. We just want to usualize ourselves and things. So this book is still there right now for $3 on Amazon for Kindle. So I want to recommend everybody that is a Nigerian, in fact African, is a disease that we need to uproot from ourselves. But but when you go to people like those Congolese, Ivory Coast people, they are coming to Nigeria and they are getting work. But Nigerian people will tell you there's no work because we cannot do the finishing.
Yeah.
In fact, if you see a Nigerian that is doing a woman, for example, doing furniture or doing bricklaying, they will put him in newspaper. It's a whole celebration.
Yes,
whereas
yes, you know the way we complain about politicians in Nigeria, we believe politicians are the worst, but when Nigerians themselves talk, they know civil servants are actually worse than politicians. But civil servants, they even know that artisans are the worst.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you the truth. Because in Nigeria, like this, in Yoruba, they call them Onishowo. There's a common saying that you can't trust artisans, craftsmen. You can't trust them. Because it's either the tailor will disappoint you, we do what you don't want, you will ask him to sew this, he will sew that. So at the end of the day, because he didn't pay attention to the process, when you ask him about the results, I can do it.
Nigeria never tell you they cannot do anything. Everybody always that by faith. I will do it. Yes, I know.
So in fact, I did a poll on my Facebook. There's a Nigerian song that says,
all these Nigerian dresses that you are wearing right now,
yeah.
When I look at it right now, I'm seeing problem. Because look at the lane here. It's not straight. Look at the thing they put here to do something. What is this? Everybody is dressed like that, even senators.
Well,
I was looking at even the president's one, the way they saw it, I saw problems everywhere. You cannot see something like that.
Yes, yes.
Finishing.
Yes.
You see?
And pay attention to the process.
Process. But we will just dress as long as it is colorful.
It's on clothes, it's on our body.
And it's shining. Nobody will look at the detail. But finishing is horrible.
So you can give the same job, let's say plumbing, to 3 different plumbers, the same canal fixing. So you now look at it on a strata basis. If politicians are even better than civil servants, and civil servants are saying that they are better than artisans, that you cannot trust those ones. It's either they collect your money or run away, or they don't even do the job at all, or they come and do nonsense. So now look at what is now left of the whole society. Go.
When Nigerians go abroad, when they travel, they want to impress Westerners. You know what they bring with them? Clothes. They will sew you clothes without seeing your measurement. And they are thinking, they don't know my measurement, they don't need it. They will just look at you.
What they do is, they can call maybe someone who is around them. Oh yeah, you should be about Victor's height.
What kind of mindset is that? And they would say, oh, you are traveling abroad. So clothes for your children, for your wife, for you. Everywhere, anybody that comes from Nigeria, they are bringing clothes for me. They don't know my wife. They don't know the height. They are looking at photographs. How can you ever show something that I would like? My wife that is used to perfection to the detail. Even the children, that she has to go take those things to Ukrainian people to unlock them, to remove them, to sew what she wants. They will not even give you material. They will sew it for you. The confidence of Nigerians, they are confident, even though they don't know process. But for them, they are doing a good thing. My wife, my sister, she brought about six clothes to everybody. I said, we could pack them back for Nigeria. Pack everything back home. She said, the grace, I said, pack everything here. Even the one I had here, I said, I have it. Let me pack them too. It's like, that is, what is that? Because they know that Europeans get impressed when we dress like that. But they don't know that you cannot give, okay, they say give, all the Europeans that are in my house, they are giving them clothes everywhere. But Those people are having, they want to wear them because they're African, they're different, but they see the little, I mean, the buttons will not work, the hole will not be there sometimes. And the kind of buttons, small buttons that you don't even see those things here again. The kind of button you see here, they are superb. But the button they will put there for Africa, sometimes they will not even put button. Or the button, no hole for it to go into. Or something, it's one rope they put inside.
That's the number one for you. It's rope now.
No, that is the rope that was there when my grandfather was alive.
That's how we still use.
No, they could have.
I even still have my own.
No, is there no progress? No civilization? How can you be doing the same thing that your father was doing 50 years ago?
Well, there's a difference between trouser and shokoto.
No, but it could also be it cannot remain the way it was 500 years ago now. You mean nobody could think of any way to do it without that rope? Because when they gave to my people here, they were asking, what do I do with this rope? What is this about? So those people went and took it to the Russian people and they put it normal. And it was fine. They removed the rope through the something. I mean, how can you be? I mean, a grown-up person, Sunday I'll be carrying rope, I'll be doing like this. Am I a woman? Is it buba or iro or whatever? Rapper? Now rapper they wear for waist.
If I say I've done it, there's a difference between shokoto and trouser. This one you're talking about is trouser.
No, I'm talking about progress. Learn processes. Learn to master something.
So now, when we talk about processes, the question will be really.
So we are suffering everywhere in Nigeria because of lack of process. I want us to read something.
Okay, sir.
Can you put the slide? Or you wanted to say a question? Is the question?
Yeah, the question will, like, when you're mentioning process now, there's the INEC process in itself.
Yes.
And people
often
blame INEC for the inefficiency of the system.
No, but who will they work with? Nigerian population don't have process in their system. No matter the system you bring, no matter the technology you bring, if the people themselves don't understand processes, they will not be able to function with it under it.
Because when INEC bring
another technology,
they
will complain. It will not work.
It won't work.
Or they will still find a way to beat the system. Because Nigerians are specialists at beating the system. Getting something for nothing. Instant gratification. Outsmart other people.
There was a joke, sir, that said they took a machine that catches thief. They took to America. It caught 100 people. Mm-hmm. They took it to England. It caught 50. When they brought it to Nigeria, Nigeria stole the machine.
They couldn't catch anybody.
They didn't catch it.
They caught the machine itself.
The machine. So it will seem as though
the machine became the victim.
Yeah, to seem as though the way the world is trying to progress, we are always trying to look for how to subvert the process because we just want the result.
Just want result.
And that's the same mindset of get rich quick syndrome. That's the same mindset of why these churches are able to get us, because we ourselves are no longer want the process. We just want the results right now.
So if they say you should sow, you sow. If they say you should give your last, you give it, because of instant gratification mentality.
What you spoke about now, why I also believe it's a very interesting book that must be read. One of the problems people have with Buhari right now,
they don't like
is
processes.
Because of this idea of not liking process, not understanding where you are coming from, and that you cannot jump.
The process it will take to get the result.
So when they hear change, they are thinking magic, because magic brings instant results.
That is our mentality as a country. Change means instant gratification, instant result.
So we must understand what
you have to jump the process.
Yeah. So you have to come from negative, let's say -2 economy, you have to jump to 5 straight away. You won't even go through the -1. No. You won't go to 0. Just jump immediately. You have to move from selling oil at $27 per barrel.
But you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid that Nigerians might not even understand what this book is about.
Possibly. But of course,
they might not even value it, because they will be looking for a miracle and healing.
But there's a new tribe coming up, and we hope.
Because even Nigerians in Europe, they don't understand. Okay, for example, I see a lot of Nigerians in Europe who say, I finish good now, my mates are getting exams, especially in England. They are always complaining that it's because they are white people they are giving jobs to. But by the time they came here to work with me, or they came for a training, and I begin to do HMT with them and to teach them about details, they now say, we used to think.
Mentorship classes.
Or mentorship classes. See what is happening in my mentorship classes? My God. I think we've had about 4,000 people that have dropped out from the mentorship class because they cannot go through process. And these are Nigerians living abroad. Because so they now say, now we understand why we think it's because we are black, or we think because those people are white. That's why they are always getting the result and the job, and we are not getting it. But now that we are being taught by you, we are discovering that it's because there is something called process that we know about it, but we don't think it's as important. We are only targeting results. But for a Westerner and Europeans, they don't care the result you get, but how to get there. How you get there, how you get that result is what they are more particular about than the result itself.
So you were saying something about Europeans and respect, that they don't respect you by your title.
I can't answer.
Why
do I need you? I can't answer.
They ask you, what do you do?
Yeah.
So what is it that you are always doing?
What are you skillful in?
Yeah.
Where is your expertise?
Yeah. Where do you follow processes every day? So this person say, I'm a cleaner.
What process
beautiful.
have you perfected?
Yes.
What process have you perfected?
But in Nigeria,
it is your title.
It's your title.
Because it's about results.
Because even me like this, if the way I'm doctor, and I go to bank and someone say, Mr. Bamisaye, I'm going to correct him.
You are going to get angry.
Mr.
Bamisaye.
After 6 years in medical school, 2 years, or even 5 years of postgraduate,
no, it's not possible.
You now call me Mr. In fact, professor, if it's yesterday that he became professor and he came to class today and you don't know, and you just mistakenly call him by the doctor that he used to be yesterday, you may have carry over in that class. How can you call him?
So you see, it doctor? Is also, that is a proof of a culture that lacks processes. We want titles because we want result, instant gratification. We are all transfixed on results. You see, it's a disease we have. Yeah. So for me, when it comes to Nigeria and Africa, I think this book is one of the most satisfying ones for my soul. Because I know the destiny it will give to the country. I know the healing, the repair work it will do to the country. To the psyche. This is a psyche book. It will correct the psyche of Nigerians to be effective and competitive all over the world. I mean, export. You have to do the packaging. You have to do something. Why is it that only raw materials we are good in? Because you need to bring something to the level that the world will respect, that it will compete with anybody in the world.
And takes processes.
Yeah, and not that our people are not talented, but talent is not enough. That is the end result. We want the processes that you have perfected. So this election rigging that we are talking about is a lot because our people have not changed the value system. They don't have the value system of obeying due process, going through due process. The culture of due process must become a part of our life. Due process, finish. Then we will not be talking about rigging. But the people who are even lacking this thing the most in Nigeria are the Southerners. And they are the ones who are the most proud. They think they are educated, they are arrogant, they are proud. So let's go and see what an Igbo man wrote. Let's see, show me something. The article, one Igbo guy wrote an article. I agree with him 100%. So Dan Okoje, his name is Dan Okoje. So he said the Hausa Fulani are not our mates. That is what Southerners talk about. Do you think it's true? I think when I was in Nigeria, in my village and in my western part of Nigeria, Yoruba, that is exactly how I was brought up. And that is what we are thinking, that Hausa and Northerners are not our mates.
Call them Mala.
That, yes, that they are illiterate, they are ignorant, that the Southerners are suffering under them, that they don't know anything, they are illiterate, that even the ministers don't know anything, the senators don't know anything, they are ruling over. So that kind of talk is prevalent. I don't know. I think it's all over the South. I don't think it's just Southwest, though. Because if this is an Igbo guy writing this, it means they have that in Igbo too, in Igbo land too. So he's saying the Hausa Fulani are not our mates. That's what we talk about, the Southerners. So, and he's saying Southern Nigerians, Igbo, Yoruba, and Niger Delta. So it means all of us. Listen to me carefully. He said, forget your PhDs, because that's our pride. We think we are more educated than the South than the Northerners. We think we have better business acumen. So forget about your PhDs, businesses, abroad exposure, because we think we have traveled, we travel more than them, our eyes have opened. Yeah. He said, forget about your open eye, forget about your abroad exposure, forget about your big grammar, forget about your social media sagacity, etc. Get your notes. Go and beg the Hausa Fulani to tutor you on how to play politics. That is too harsh, no?
Well, he will be giving his reasons, but I think I share the same sentiment. But you know, we've not analyzed the Northern vote. We'll still go back to that.
Yeah, because we are talking
I'll say why
about,
I share his own.
Okay, go ahead. Next one. The average Fulani man may look dirty, uneducated, unexposed, deprived, or stupid, but he possesses a knowledge of the importance of political power and how to use it. You say you share that?
Yes.
Okay.
And by the time we analyze the Northern vote, okay, I will be able to say why I share that, so people can see with the numbers.
Okay. The Hausa Fulani are not by any means stupid. In fact, they are masters of Nigerian politics. In today's Nigeria, Northern Nigeria dominates virtually every aspect of the nation's political dynamics. Democracy is a game of numbers, and with this fact, Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, etc. will continue to play significant roles in who becomes president of Nigeria. Their members in the National Assembly will continue to constitute the majority, without which key bills will falter if not in their interest. PIB, NNPC bills, NNPC sale, oil blocks, licensing, electoral reforms, restructuring, that they will always have a say.
Yes.
You don't find Hausa Fulani killing themselves. That's why I wanted to read this.
Yes, sir.
But we are talking about violence.
Violence, yeah.
That's why is it that it's mainly in rivers,
yeah,
and south. He said, well, you don't find Hausa Fulani killing themselves during elections, but the supposedly educated South is always a war zone at every election cycle. It started in the Southwest, yeah, during Awolowo, then in the 70s, 79 during Shagari regime, yes, and then it even continued after during military. Then it went to southeast. Now it's in south. So we are only the one killing ourselves. Okay. Northern Nigeria is way smarter, united, politically mature, and coherent than the South. Kwankwaso may disagree with Buhari, but he will never get into a war of words with him, like Amaechi did with Jonathan in 2015, or like Wike is doing right now with Amaechi. Kwankwaso and Ganduje may be political enemies, but you will never see their supporters shelling themselves with bullets like those of Amaechi and Wike. Yes, go ahead. Buhari and Atiku, both Fulani men, contested the 2019 elections. Not a single bullet was fired in the north, but over 50 persons were killed in Rivers State alone. No, 50?
I'm not sure.
Rivers alone, my God.
I'm not sure
due to the feud between Amaechi and Wike. Go ahead. We need to come down from our high horse, go on our knees to beg them to lecture us, for we are but babies in this game. Ooh. That is goring the ego, yeah, of Southerners. Yeah. But it's a good thing that it's not Northerners who are writing it. Yeah. It's an Igbo man who is writing it.
Say it's from Edo State.
It's from Edo State?
Yeah,
okay.
According to what I've seen.
Okay, it's finished.
Yeah, so we can go to the
okay.
Yeah, number 10 now. Number 11. Okay, so now we are in the north.
Okay.
This northwest is what comprises Kano, Katsina, and Kebbi.
Nasarawa or something.
No, Nasarawa is in the north central.
Okay.
Yeah, but these are the real
stronghold.
This is where Sokoto
is.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the numbers,
Kano is not there.
Kano is there. Kano is there. If you look at the numbers, even if Buhari wanted to rig, he will be rigging here very well. Very well.
But
and nobody will question
Nobody will even know. But how did they allow PDP to get 2 million here? If you were rigging, he would have given the same percentage to PDP like
they were doing a south-south.
South-south and southeast.
Now, here, one could argue, for instance, I think I should use the state by state. But if you look at Kano, for instance, Kano has about 5 million voters registered, and they collected about at least 3 million PVCs. So it means that if APC wanted to rig, there was nothing stopping them from giving themselves 2 million. After all, if you are now considering the gubernatorial elections in Kano right now, the whole total result is entering 2 million already. But in the presidential, it was 1 million and 1 million 800, 1.8 million.
Only 1 million.
Only 1.8 million.
Less than last time, even.
Yeah. So if they wanted to rig, it's strong
they would have written more than last time.
It should be written maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
And to argue that will still be very hard because, like you were saying, he has cult followership over there. Even when he was contesting against Jonathan, opposition party, they cannot write anything less than 1 point something for him. So if he was now going to rig in the maximum of his stronghold, and now that he's even president and they feel that is their person, he would have rigged more.
And PDP still got 40%.
From
wow.
No, this will eventually be about, no, it won't be up to 40%. This will be about 25%.
No.
Because it's half of the number above.
Yes.
So if it's 40%,
50%.
Yeah, so it's half of half.
It's about 40% now.
No. This number is about 25%.
No, maybe 35, but not 25.
Yeah, maybe,
it's close to 40.
Maybe 35. But the fact that they even got the number there is it shows
it's
you
unbelievable. Yeah. And that they will allow PDP to even get that. It means that they are not really particular about rigging.
No, they were not particular about rigging. And there were big wigs of PDP who are in these states, and they are losing very well. And what's the beautiful thing I want to talk about here?
Kaduna is here too.
Yeah, Kaduna is here too. But let's talk about Kano, sir. Kano Buhari won with 1.4 million. With 1.4 million. As against 391,000 of PDP.
Okay.
But if you look at this margin, and then you are now looking at governorship election, if
you would think he will just scale through easily.
Yeah, if Ganduje is not careful, he's not going to win.
Yeah,
why?
It's neck to neck.
Why? Because he lost that credibility when the video came out.
Corruption.
Scandal.
Yeah. Because so people are not blind.
Yes, this was a state that,
even though president is supporting him, but the people couldn't even be deceived.
In fact, when the president went there, he said, Kano people, this is your Ganduje.
Yeah, but
so the people
didn't buy into it.
No, because I have listened to the analysis from the Kano people, especially those who even voted for Buhari, have been able to interact with them. They said Buhari did not say we should vote for him.
No, but it's like the way it is. So even if he said they should vote for him, they are not ready to vote for him because it's like people are more particular about integrity.
So even Buhari there was not telling them to vote. He said, Kano people, this is your Ganduje. And the people were saying, Buhari did not ask us to vote for him. Because it was the same Buhari that raised up the hand of an unknown teacher called Shekarau in 2003. And he defeated an incumbent governor, Kwankwaso. And Kwankwaso, if any other person in Kano will have an occultic followership is Kwankwaso.
Yeah.
But it was defeated by an unknown teacher because Integrity Buhari raised his hands up. But right now, and this is another place where hypocrisy comes in DSA. You know, we're talking about how Oshiomhole was fighting against nepotism of Rochas bringing his son-in-law in. But would you believe that the Kano PDP governorship candidate is the son-in-law of Kwankwaso, and nobody is having a problem with that? So the question would be, those who are shouting the more, which are actually PDP supporters and apologists, is it that they are blind to see that the governorship candidate in Kano too is a son-in-law to Kwankwaso, but they want him to win? Now, they say they have problem with corruption, right? And Ganduje must go. But Ganduje, the people are voting against him. If he wins, it will be by whimpers, by luck. They have protested and their voices have been heard. But in a state like Delta State, Ibori is still controlling politics there.
So no integrity.
No integrity at all. In Bauchi State, the governorship candidate of the PDP there was a former FCT minister who has faced a lot of corruption charges. And is most likely also going to win in Bauchi State. But it's like PDP don't have problem with corruption. It's just that when it is APC, it has to be a problem. So now, you can see that the Northerners seem to value integrity, like you were saying, sir. Now, they would vote wholeheartedly against Atiku because of the same issue, and vote wholeheartedly to a large extent against Ganduje because of the same issue. How else do you explain a state where all of the federal senators are from APC? 3, they won the 3
in Kano. And now the governor cannot win.
He cannot win. Out of 42 House of Assembly, they won about 30. And he is struggling with vote. How can you explain it?
Integrity.
So
they can never, will never support Atiku then.
Because they consider him a thief.
But on the other hand, they consider Buhari as a man of
integrity.
Of truth. They said they have a name for him.
Megaskia.
The man of truth.
Man of truth.
So definitely he will have cult followership there, and he will always win.
In Gombe State, the PDP governorship candidate was not even supporting Atiku.
Even yesterday, that guy that Yoruba man who talks a lot, yeah, he was complaining that even the PDP leaders from the north are telling him, you criticize anybody you want to, but don't criticize Buhari. Yeah. Even they, PDP leaders, respect the integrity of.
They know that. They know that.
No, but the Southerners are saying Buhari is corrupt, especially the Easterners, Igbo people.
I think nobody, no politician in Nigeria
cannot prove it,
has said Buhari is corrupt.
No, but Facebook people.
Only Facebook people say that. No, even Atiku himself cannot open his mouth and say Buhari is corrupt. He has never said that. You can never see the record anywhere. Even Saraki was asked point blank, is Buhari corrupt? You know what he said? He said his government is corrupt.
And none of them Galadima or something.
Buba Galadima. And there's no way you will listen to Buba Galadima and you will not know that he's pained. He only won 2 votes in his polling unit. He lost 500 and something to 2 votes. He only had 2 votes in his polling unit.
Because he's a traitor.
Because he is believing, he has always been with Buhari from right from the beginning, but because he had betrayed Buhari once when they were in ANPP, so he didn't really retain the political trust of Buhari. But being with him and the familiar relationship they have, he believed that the moment Buhari came in, he was just going to open the door for him. So that's why you will see Buhari, Galadima himself tell Keyamo that the table you are eating from, there are people who set it. So for them, it was about eating. And it seemed it was not happening under Buhari. So Northwest, no, we just done Northwest. Can we go to Sledushe? Northeast, this is another place Atiku is contesting. He is saying in a state like Borno that has been ravaged by...
No, because he is from Northeast.
He's from Northeast, but he's not contesting out of his state, for instance, because he won there.
Okay.
By a little margin. But he's saying in a state like Borno, because Borno voted like 95%. I should look at the the numbers
because
there.
of the war that's going there.
So that because of the war that is going there, okay, 836 to 71.
Yeah, but that place, that...
He is now saying that because of the war going on there, that it's impossible for the numbers to come out.
But 836, what I was actually thinking that Borno would have given, because I saw the crowd there and how they were mad for Buhari. I was thinking he was going to have a million.
They came
or
out,
2 or 3.
they even came out for him too.
Yeah, but I was even thinking if they want to rig, if
Yes.
APC want to rig,
Yes.
that kind of place, they would have rigged like even 1 million, 2 million for Borno alone.
In the governorship election, I think they had about 1 point something million, or close to 1 million.
But for the president, only 800.
Only 800. And the governor is saying it's about how you mobilize. I am trying to also look at 2015 election. And you still see that even though it was raged by Boko Haram, people still came out then. Talk less of now that people are getting to return back home to their villages.
And no 26 local government lost anymore.
You know, and of course there are pockets of attacks here and there, but largely peace has settled into a large extent. So it means they are able to vote, and it's like PDP. They see PDP as a plague there. So it will be very hard for him now, for Atiku, to prove against these elections, this result.
Next one.
This is not central. This is where the beauty. This is where the biggest
beauty of Nigeria
is.
is.
Yes. So because there has been a statistic.
It's almost the same.
Yeah.
Equal.
Almost
50-50.
equal. Almost 50-50. There's a statistic that has shown that everybody who has won election in Nigeria has always won Benue State and Kwara State. So many of the people who were considering numbers were looking forward to see who will win Benue State and Kwara State, because
it was divided
so
this
they're
time.
not divided it this time. But the funny part of this one was that PDP, I thought they were going to have this place.
Especially Kwara with the Senate president.
So, and he was the DG of the campaign. But unfortunately for the Senate president, he had beaten more than he could chew in 2015 when he took the Senate presidency against the wishes of his party, number one. Number two, the people in his state were already tired of him. So it made it very easy for both local forces and the political enemies he had offended before to work against him.
No, I think his biggest problem is that he didn't perform to the expectation of his people. And the governor he put there was paying him more money than to run the state.
Yeah. And one of his own big problem was, I think there was a meeting he had with people that the voice recording was released. And he was saying that in 2015 election, he sponsored Buhari's election in 30 states in Nigeria, apart from
and
Southwest.
They didn't give him all the positions.
And then there's no patronage in Buhari's government. That nothing. So a lot of people now say, boy, this is the state that we are. That people, they are not paying salaries. In fact, do you know minimum wage in Kwara State is still 9,600 as against the 18,000 that they are even trying to upgrade from.
Wow. But personally, I expected APC to do better in North Central. I expected them to win Plateau because that was their state.
No, they were never going. In fact, if they would try,
they almost won it
because of they politicized the killings.
Even Benue, they almost won it.
So they politicized the killings so much that they were so confident that with the politicizing of these killings, there was no way Benue people were ever going to vote for APC.
And they
or
did.
Plateau people. And they did. In fact, the Benue State governor may win re-election, but his case may he may also lose in court.
It's
PDP. Because there are cases of overvoting in the governorship election, not in the presidential, but in the governorship, where in a particular state, local government, there has, let's say, 600 people to vote. They were having 602 recorded. Or sometimes you see 500 people vote and 499 people showed up. Like, it's not real. So that's on the other one. But they never believed that North Central people could vote for Buhari. This is the first time that Buhari himself will be winning a state like Nasarawa. So they never believed that such could happen. Now, APC lost Abuja, that's Federal Capital Territory. Then Adama is in northeast. So when you put all of this together, so there was just a balance, and eventually APC won this place. So it means that APC has now won 4 regions. So how do you expect to win 2 regions and then be declared president? Where is the number going to come from? Because Saraki, for instance, cannot say Kwara was rigged. There's no proof that Nasarawa was rigged. Benue State, nobody will say APC rigged Benue. What else do we have? Niger State. Plateau. Niger State. Niger State, it was like a massacre. Outright massacre. I mean, in terms of political, not. I'm talking about dealing with PDP. So, now the numbers don't add up for him to talk about rigging.
So let's see the turnout.
So Jigawa State had the highest voter turnout, 55%, which is showing also voter apathy. We should not be talking about 55%. It's too low.
And that is the highest.
And that's the highest. It's too low.
In the whole country.
It's too low.
That is a disgrace. It's supposed to be the smallest.
Yeah. So this actually tells us.
And this is for Buhari, right? Buhari
no, for everybody. Yeah, Buhari won Jigawa. Okay. And this tells us, that really, it didn't matter who won. It was not the will of the whole of Nigeria.
Next one.
Then the state with highest vote cast. This 1.98 in Kano.
Only.
Altogether, this plus
PDP article. APC, everybody.
Now, are you telling me APC wants to
No, but in the governorship, they have more than
They had more than this. And they have not even finished collation. They are still going to do supplementary election. And they're already on 2 million.
Bayelsa is the lowest. Apathy was high there. The lowest number of votes in Bayelsa is only 335.
But this is even a miracle. Because as of 2015, I need to look for that number.
It was even lower.
More. They just wrote vote in. This state with 8 local government was the last state to come in to be collated. Because what they were doing is the more...
So in 2015, they would have doubled or
Yes, tripled. It was the last state to come in.
So they would have doubled or
tripled it. So those ones are not now possible for them this year.
Highest rejected votes. Kano, 73%, 73,000. And the reason is because people complain about children voting, but what they don't know is that because of the PVC, the thing will not pass it.
In fact,
and even people who are thumb printing, that's why they cancel a lot of votes, because it will not pass. Yeah.
No, they could even thumb print and do that, but it will be minimal, very minimal. But in Kano, there were some places where, of course, there were violence, but not
that they cancelled it, because
they cancelled this one.
The party in government was supposed to rig, that is their strong goal. They wouldn't have allowed them to
cancel. And they are now.
But if this had been cancelled in Southeast, it would have been a political crisis.
In fact, when you see,
they would have said it especially.
When you see Southeast votes,
because the impression you will have by the protests coming from the Southeast or South is that as if they cancelled more there,
yes,
than anywhere else.
But that's not true.
But in reality, it was in Kano they cancelled more.
Yes, sir.
Lowest rejected votes was Ekiti. Okay, 12,000. Okay, spread. What is spread?
Parties won by state. Yeah.
What?
The states won by parties.
Okay, how spread the parties are? Almost equal.
Almost equal. 18-19.
This is for the presidential.
And this is a rigged election?
If it is rigged, it will have been
when APC is controlling about 20-something states in Nigeria.
It's controlling 23.
And you got it.
They lost some of their votes.
So and you think they want to rig? They will not even want to win more states?
They would have at least kept the one they had before everything is rigging.
Oh God!
And now it's just by one state that PDP won. I mean
APC won.
This is unbelievable. It's too close. States won by 25%. APC 33, PDP 28. Very close too.
But this shows more acceptance.
Yes,
of the APC.
Parties. Of the two parties too.
No, but these are 5 states more, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you expected maybe PDP will be like 10 or 15?
No.
It means they are all both national parties. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
compare this one to the new ones.
Yes, that's the point I was going to make. The fact that Atiku Abubakar could even get 11 million votes, I doff my hat. With the guy, with the way people even know that he's a thief and everything, and he still got 11 million votes, it shows that he's a political maverick.
No,
it shows that he is sagacious.
They said he spent a lot of money. He was even complaining, I heard, that not too many people were helping him with money. He was using his own money. But since he had money to feed, that he has stolen money enough to feed 300 million Nigerians for 400 years, so I think he had enough to spend.
Well, coming from the primaries in Rivers State, I think Rivers people really enjoyed this money. So, because that was where it was hosted, and we're told they were sharing in thousands of dollars. Though.
He had a budget for every state.
And the way this election was the one where they controlled finance the more.
Yeah.
And even people are applauding the government now for doing that.
Total
votes of the
parties.
Other parties, wow.
Yes, apart from those two. Or is it? Total vote of other parties is less than 1 billion. All the 70-something parties.
All together.
74 parties, they are less than 1 billion, 869.
And I read that they made the register parties that did not.
They have to do it. They have to do it. I think we should have only 5 parties.
And when they do it, all these AAC are going.
They will disappear.
Interesting.
They will have to merge.
So others all together are scoring 3%.
All the 74 parties only
together.
3%.
and before election, some people were here abusing you like you didn't know what you were talking about.
I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm not even talking about AAC or something.
All the 70 they didn't know. They were not considering that the fact that you like Sowore as a person or Mogalu as a person does not make you blinded to the reality of what is on ground. Yeah. These are the statistics, and this is what I'm saying. If Sowore today claims that the election is rigged, I'm asking him and I'm challenging him publicly, and I respect him so much as a person, he should go to court.
Which court? He cannot go to court now because
he should go to court and prove that the election was rigged.
How can you go to court when you didn't even win your local government?
No, probably if the election was not rigged, he could have won. Maybe that would be the argument. So he should go to court. The same Mogalu I learned rejected the result. He should go to court.
No, he didn't reject the result. Though. He said people should accept the result.
So if all of these people can't learn
but let's look at that statistic again. How can it be 3%?
All of the parties together.
My God.
So if we divide this 3% by 70 something now, what will we have? So I was seeing 0.0 something percent, 0.2, 0.1. 0.08.
It's like they didn't even participate. It's a waste of money.
They wasted Nigeria's money and time.
And time and energy.
Did you see the ballot box, the ballot paper?
No.
It was looking like spreadsheet.
No, I'm even more concerned about the amount of enmity
that they also created.
That they created. There are a lot of people that cannot even talk to me again, that cannot even look at my face, that have run away from the platform, that that even blocked me, that were cursing me, that were cursing other people just because you didn't support their candidates.
But eventually, if he scored 4,000, less than 40,000 votes, that means there's no way you would have supported him from Ukraine here now and just say, I support you, Sowore, and even keep quiet. How then is he going to score 100,000 votes?
I had said that God cannot do that kind of miracle. Somebody went and did video and said, you say God cannot do miracle. I said, if God will do miracle, it will be second place that can do miracle and win.
Hey, at least 41 will go to 40, 50 or something. And that's why Atiku can go to court. And I'm saying that the reason why Atiku is in court...
Even with this court that Atiku is going to, look at the gap, 56% to 41%.
Atiku...
That is more than 10%.
Yes.
That is like, how much? 15%
difference
in the gap. Is too much. There is no way anything could be 15%. 41. If you add 10, it will still be 51. You will still lose.
So, and I'm thinking, sir, that the reason why Atiku is in court It's not to actually win.
It's to save face. It's to save face.
Save face, number one. Number two, to remain relevant.
So that you will come back next election.
Even if it's not going to come back, but to be able to have some say.
I think he said he will still try to contest again now.
And we'll be beaten again.
Next one. Again. Unaccounted votes.
That's accredited vote minus vote cast. So this was about 70, less than a million.
Less than a million.
So even if they add it to cancelled votes, it's still not enough.
No different, because there are 4 million different.
Yeah, close to 5 million. 4 million. 4 million. 15 to 11. Yeah.
Even if you just go and dash
you the
PDP
both article. The cancelled vote and the unaccounted, you still lose.
So what court are you going to?
So, but yes, what
the turnout
is going to make us...
The turnout, you know, in this country, if the turnout is less than 50%, the whole election will be rerun.
Wow.
In this country here. If the people who are registered, the citizens, and you have less than 50% of the citizens electing any president, the president, no, you cannot.
If that is made a law in Nigeria, won't it encourage more rigging, actually?
I don't know.
Because like we should just leave it as
but it is. But here, what it brings out is active people's participation.
But in Nigeria, that we don't value process. We won't be doing voter education. We just write the number. Till today, sir, 2007 election.
How can only 35% be voting altogether? This is so. From this now, let's count 56%, or what is it?
Yeah,
56 from this now.
65.
65%
did not participate.
65% did not participate. Can you imagine? But I'm even trying to say how many voted for the president. So the president we have now, how many percentage of Nigerians voted for it? If 56% of 35%.
Maybe just about 20% or so.
Of Nigeria
voted for him.
So
not even of Nigerians, of voters.
Voters. Only 25% voted for a president.
Who are voters?
So 75% of the Nigerians didn't vote for your own president. I mean, 75% didn't vote for the president. And he's the president of the country. I mean, it's their party problem has to be resolved. It's leadership.
So Rivers, as I was saying last time, it was 1.4 million, sir.
Only last time.
Close to 1.5 in 2015.
And now only 300.
Only 300 and something.
Wow.
So if we
always add 1 million extra.
If we look at Enugu had 553. And now APC had 14.
Wow, only 14.
Yeah, 14,000.
No, that is
14,000. So if you look at Delta, you see the same 1.2 million from Delta.
Wow.
And this time around it's just about 500,000 altogether.
Wow.
So the way
the rigging during PDP was too much.
So the moment they are seeing the figures from the north, they release one big figure too.
Okay, so what do we have? Our final presidential election result as announced by INEC is accredited voters 29 million, total votes cast 28 million. Okay. Slide the share. Valid votes
27
million. Rejected votes 1.2 million. APC votes 15 million. Okay, slide the share. PDP votes 11.2 million. The difference is 3.9 million. So almost 4 million.
Yeah.
Slide the share. Okay, that's it. So we'll be ready to take slide. So maybe we should call people to call in now.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, please, if you would like to call in, just write us on the Facebook Messenger Move Agent, and just write you would like to call. We want you to write first so that we don't have interference with calls when multiple calls start coming in. So, but if you write us, we are able to moderate that. So please write us, and we will be ready to pick up your calls.
And our next HMT is coming up in April, from the 8th to the 12th of April. And so we want for you to register, just go to sundaydelajablog.com/HMT or write to hmt@godembassy.org. The latest book I just released is called Process is More Important Than Result, or is as important as the result. And the other book that recommending for you today is How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. Those two books will do you a whole lot of good. So let's see if we have callers. Okay, I think we have callers. And
hello, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We can't hear your voice at all.
Oh, good evening, sir.
You need to speak loud and into your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
A bit better. Maybe it's our problem here.
Can you hear me?
Now very good.
Okay, sir.
Who is calling from where, sir?
Is Udo on the line, sir?
Udo. Yeah, you are always a savvy political analyst.
Yes, sir.
We dey hear now.
Good job, sir.
Yes.
You know, like they say, every politics is local.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you say it again, please.
They say that every politics is local.
Every politics is local. Hello?
Oh, every politics is local.
It's local, yeah.
Yes.
If from this person going to court to challenge the outcome of it's from Northeast.
Yes.
Yes. In that Northeast, the big thing on the place is only in his state.
Your line is very bad today. I don't know what's happening.
Can you hear me?
It's breaking.
It's breaking.
Wow. Okay, let's come back.
Okay, we'll call you back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he was saying all politics is local. Of course, I will allow him to come make his point, but I think many of these new generation politicians are not learning the art of politics. They are not, and it's as though they are not even teachable in that aspect. But politics is different from governance. You can have all of the right ideas, the rightest ideas about governance, and never get into government. Because what it takes to govern is different from what it takes to politic your way into government. Now, if you have the right ideas, but people do not subscribe to you as a person and do not give you their vote, how then do you intend to implement those ideas? Now, when we tell you that it's not about your idea about governance that matter, but how many people subscribe to that, and we're asking you the question of how many people are you able to influence to subscribe to your ideology, to be able to say, we are going to give you your vote, and you say, oh, because you have the best ideas and people should just vote for you, you are deceiving yourself. The worst strategy in politics, which in fact is not a strategy, is sanctimony. The idea to begin to say that I am better than these other people. And so it's either my way or no way. That sanctimony will never get you anywhere in politics.
I think we have a caller again.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, is it the same Udo?
Yes, sir.
Now it's better.
Okay, it's better now.
Very good.
Yes, sir. So I was saying this election that he is challenging in the court. He is Northeast, where he's from. He won only one state. The other 5 went to his opposition. Yes. If his people were so much in love with him, why did they vote for him? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, the reality is that his game plan didn't work for him. He had the intention of using the vote of the opponent in all those strongholds. Then he now used the south, east, and the south.
Yes.
And add up and maybe not central and become president. But in all those areas that he thought he was going to read the vote, did beat him hands down there.
Yes.
So his game plan changed. As though he's going to court, but I know the lawyers will advise him because that's the opposite. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's still breaking. No, I don't know what's wrong with your line today.
Wow. Oh, come on.
But we
Hello?
got the point. We got your point. Why he couldn't
Yes.
win his region if he's so popular and is relying on the
Ye-
southeast, south?
Yes, that's one point. Then another thing, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. People are talking about Oshomole.
Yes.
Hello? Yes. This man, what he's trying to introduce in our body policy in the party system is one of the things that will make Nigeria to develop faster.
Yeah.
A situation where ordinary Kakari member of the party will have a say on who governs him
Yes.
in the area of choosing them internally.
Yes.
Yes. So he asks
But
these people that are
before it is
going.
the big wings that used to choose.
Delegate
No,
system.
no, not on basis who has the highest money. Maybe
Okay.
let me explain what I meant by that. This both Ibikulu Amosi in Ogun State and Rocha Sokorocha,
Yes.
their primaries, and the party have give them three options that you can reach consensus, but because of reaching this consensus, all the stakeholders must be involved.
Okay.
If there's any dissenting voice from this outcome of this consensus, you now take the option of indirect primary. And in the indirect primary, of course, you know what the indirect primary means is a situation where these governors that call themselves to be God will use money and buy delegates
Yeah.
to produce their own candidates. The man now said, if this indirect primary, if everybody did not agree on this indirect primary, we now take the option of direct primary. And this direct primary is the best option,
Yes, I agree.
where every common man, so long you're a Katkari member of the party,
Yes.
you be on the queue, you decide. It happens in Osun State, it happens in Lagos State, you have a say on who become your flag bearer.
Yes.
And most of these people, they conduct their primaries, it didn't work out. They decided for people reject some of this thing now. And this man say corrective. They said, oh, they want to impose themselves, impose their surrogates on the greater majority.
Yes.
That's just a problem. And if these people now, if we want to develop, this is the only thing that will make a difference between the APC and PDP.
Yes.
Where a common man as a Qatari member will have a say. And in that case now, past supremacy will reign on elected officials, both at the ward, local, at council, or federal level. This is trying to throw, and people don't know about this. They just tell he destroyed the party. It's not that this. It's not the reality.
Beautiful.
We saw in South Africa. Hello?
Beautiful.
We saw in South Africa where Thabo Mbeki, African National Congress, asked him to resign from office because of anti-party activity.
Yes.
He had to resign. He took his party into war. The same thing a few years later happened to Jacob Zuma.
Yes.
So until we make party supremacy over elected officials to call them to order, all these people that call themselves elected officials we have in Nigeria will not make any difference. Each of them now, as soon as they are sent into office, they turn to God. They turn to God. Rochas should understand the kind of the Igbo people were public and in nature. Some of those things now don't work in Igbo land. You put your wife, you put your son-in-law, you become this, you become all that. Dynasty you are trying to build. The party you said no. Reach aggrieved parties now, reach a consensus and agree on this. He said no, that he was the one that brought the party in the southeast. As a result of that, now if they are not going to allow him to have his way, his son-in-law, what has happened anywhere? His son-in-law must succeed him. And look at where the hotel landed. And at the end of the day, he's not going to be relevant in the politics of Imo again.
Yeah.
And the party, if the party is going to accept him, that is going to be a very big disservice to the party.
Yeah.
Because you must discipline those early members. You serve as a deterrent to others that will try to toe the line.
Beautiful.
That's the only thing. The party is standing today, conscious of the man at the helm of affairs because of his character. left for him, there's nothing like a party called APC.
Yes.
Because you cannot differentiate between APC and PDP as it is now.
No, I think Oshomole is a blessing to APC.
It's a blessing, but people, the Nigerians that should advise, that should give him accolade based on this thing now, they want to criticize him on social media.
Yes.
That's to show you have the level of literacy on our people. They don't read, they don't care. It's not that you don't know the genesis of issue. Just because most of them, maybe they began to hear about political development, joining political discussion in 2015, but they don't know where we are coming from.
Yeah.
This election we are talking about, if they know about 2007 election, what we call institutional rigging, where INEC Morris the right result.
Okay, thank you so much, Udo.
Thank you, sir.
Ude, thank you so much. Blessings. Yes, sir.
Yes, so he's raised salient points, party supremacy. If we begin to enforce party supremacy, maybe it's a step towards party ideology. Maybe it will be a step. Maybe there will be certain rules that actually confine the party people, that they can say, okay, these are our rules, maybe, just maybe. But like you were saying, he is beginning to raise certain issues like direct primary, where every card carry member would have a say. And it would be good to see if in their own primaries too, they can begin to test electronic voting, just like Kaduna State did.
So that we don't have what happened in Lagos.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we do. We didn't hear before. Who is calling from where?
My name is Bayo. I'm calling from Sweden.
From where? Hello?
I'm calling from Sweden.
Sweden.
Sweden. What's wrong with your line? Are you calling from a computer or using a device, or you are using your phone?
I think we lost him.
We lost him, eh?
Yeah.
Hello?
I'm using my phone.
You are talking directly to your phone?
Yes.
Or you are using a Bluetooth?
No, I'm talking directly from my phone.
Okay, it's good now. It's better now.
Yes. Yes, I just like to contribute to your program, because
Yeah.
I've been following you for some years now.
Oh, okay, Bayo.
Yes. Regarding the Richard Okorosha and Ibikunle Amosu.
Yes.
Yes, I think I support the chairman Oshimole for the stand he took.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you look at Ibikunle Amosu, I think the man is just trying to cover his ass.
So that they don't catch him for corruption?
Yes, that is what he was trying to do. And the same thing applies to Richard Okorosha, because if somebody is doing like that, you understand, definitely you are not living a good example.
They said Okorosha seemed to have withdrawn a huge amount of money or so.
Yes, I read
EFCC
it.
went after
17 billion, something like that.
Wow, my God.
17 billion. And the state is in mess. The money you are taking, what are you going to use it for? That is my question. You understand? If you are a good governor, why are you trying to block your ass so that you won't face authority? Because and one more thing I would like to say to Oshomole, because when you look at Lagos State also, they have something they call Godfather.
Yeah.
You understand? Which is Tunumbu. And Tunumbu single-handedly support Sanwo-Olu against the former governor.
Okay.
I think there's something I call a partial, you understand, in that. So all their rules should be applied to every one of APC, you understand. APC is above everybody. It's above everybody, but the man is doing the right thing. I'm not against what he's doing. You understand? I really love it. And people who are voting for Atiku, they are just wasting their time. You understand? They are just
No, but he's going to court now.
He's wasting his time. He's wasting his time. We should just, the gentleman who is sitting beside you said something that the man is just trying to make himself relevant. The man is very right. He's just wasting his time. He loot our money and he brought back the money to the country.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes.
You understand? Because this man doesn't have a good record. Look at Obasanjo also. You accuse the man and you are supporting the man again.
It's a disgrace.
You are an elderly man. It's like you are eating your word right in presence of you. Yoruba people have some habits. They say it. You say you are not going to do something and you still go back to the same thing and you are doing it. All these people that are leading Nigeria, you understand? I don't know. Just something needs to be done. I love my country. And things that are happening in Nigeria, I'm not happy with it because they are all deceivers. I'm happy Saraki is out. That is very good. And let me make a point. People are blaming Buhari. They are blaming Buhari. All the problems should go to the Senate.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Don't just blame Buhari.
I agree.
When you are blaming Buhari, they should go back to the Senate. If Buhari approves something, Senate will kick against it. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't use your veto power. You understand?
Yeah.
So the problem lies with the Senate.
Yes.
Now I think the Senate is going to be okay now.
Yes.
You understand? So
Yes.
that we should give Buhari a second chance. Buhari is not perfect. You understand? Everybody have their own ups and downs. You understand?
Yeah.
But with what we have on ground, Buhari is far, far, far better than Atiku. You understand? It's far, far better. They should just give them a chance for them to perform. That is what I would like to say. You understand? I really love your program. I do follow your program all the time. You understand?
Beautiful.
And I'm very happy. You understand?
Thank you for calling in today, Bayo. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Yeah, thank you. I think he made one very important point,
Okay.
and we've always been talking about here. That the idea of supporting Buhari does not mean individually is the best Nigerian who can do the job. It's just like when people do beauty pageants and they say this person is the most beautiful woman in the world.
You don't know my wife, huh?
Does that really mean that person is really the most beautiful person in the world? You wait next year when they do another person will be the most. But
they will remove the crown.
Yeah, and put it on another person. But the person who is going to win it that year was alive a year ago. How come she was not? So it means that you always choose from people who present themselves for contest. So when we talk about Buhari being the best, we are talking within the line of those who presented themselves. And when in beauty pageants now, they don't just choose because you are fine on your face.
They consider many other factors.
Many other factors. They ask you questions on the basis of intellect. They ask you so many things. The same thing with politics. It's not just because you have the right ideas for governance. We have to consider who are those going to support you. Okay, you want to pass a bill. Are you going to be facing opposition? Are you the kind of guy that they will remove in 6 months? They will consider all of those. So by the time you look at all of those factors, politics, governance, ideas, then you say on the aggregate, who is the best? And that's exactly what you've been talking about. You are not saying on if they put Mogalu to Buhari, why do you think he did not come for the debate? He knew they were going to hit him raw. And when Atiku 2 saw that the person was going to be his punch bag, did not come, what did he do? He ran away. So it's always about all of those factors put together. And that's why we say, for instance, Buhari is the best candidate for Nigeria at this time. Not because there are no better Nigerians, but it's about all of the factors put together. I don't know if we have a caller now.
No, I think we should end because
Okay.
I still need to come back
All right.
in the next 10, 15 minutes.
So
So, you know, we have HMT coming on.
Yeah.
There's a brother that made Alfred. He made a video, very good video, inviting people to the HMT. Let's see if we could play the video right now. And so the HMT is coming on from the 8th of April to the 12th of April. And we'll be happy to see you here. Just write to hmt@godembassy.org. Okay, are we ready? Future of the world. Let me tell you something about Nigeria. There is something about Nigeria, about energy. Our people are so energetic. When you are around Nigeria, we can fix our trouble.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Okay, see, anyway, you know, if you have not gotten this book on process, that book on process is going to be a major deliverance for our continent and for our country. You know, and even Africans who are in Europe, not too many people are in America, in diaspora, we are not all good about in processes. Let's go purchase this book, and we're going to be using it for our HMT. And then the next book is How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. You've not read that book?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay, you know, when you read it, I'm sure you would like to talk about it. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Yeah. I will still need to come back to talk about the church.
All right, sir.
How to know God through the church.
Through the church, the series.
Yeah, the series continues, yes.
You know, like you say.
Series continua.
Series continua. Like they say, you can take Israel out of Egypt and never be able to take Egypt out of Israel.
In what sense?
In the sense that Nigerians can leave Nigeria and Nigeria will never leave them.
Don't say Egypt is in them.
Yeah, so that's why many people can leave Nigeria and still have the same mindset and value system of the Nigerian society.
We need to work on ourselves.
That's why the same Nigerian churches never get to influence the community in which they are situated because it's still the same mindset.
Processes.
Yeah. So process is something we have to learn, and I think we have a manual now that can help us.
I'm so happy
and open our eyes to that.
Came out.
Yeah. So from our end here in Kyiv, Ukraine, we say thank you and see you next week. God bless.